Hey, oh, my phone goes off as we go on. Isn't that the way it's gonna be? How about I turn it off? We are live with Coach Nicole and Coach Carrie. Nicole, you made it to the end of the month and you showed up for every single one. Remember, we weren't sure if you were going to be able to because of that other job thing you got going on.
Oh my, and it is a job and a half right now. To all of you educators out there, if you are part of our group, you don't know, you have a special place in heaven reserved for you.
Right? Nicole, I was 25 years full time in education. So, but this year I am not. And this is the year I decided to not to just go the retired route and do my education right here with Disruptive Nutrition.
It was a good year to pick. It was a good year to pick.
I decided, yep. Anyway, I am super excited that we are together for our last live of the month. And we have been talking all month about debunking myths, right? Yes. We have. So if people are watching this in our Facebook group, we're streaming live in a few different places. You can go into our units in our Diet Disruptor Squad and go look at our previous episodes. If you're watching this live on YouTube, I have all of this in a playlist that you can go back and look at all of these previous episodes. So go find them because this was a good month. We talked about a lot of things that people really think are true, and they are, right? And today we're going to really dig into something that I think is kind of controversial, and I love it. I love controversy. It's about eating meat. A lot of people think in order to be healthy, we shouldn't be eating meat. And it's just another one of those things where we're just not educated. We hear bits and pieces of things, and then we believe them, and then almost like expand upon it and make it even more true, you know, and more exaggerated in so many ways. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we talk about it, I just have to say, girl, I am a little bit more dressed than you are today.
I know. Last week I was the one that was dressed and all cute and fancy. And now,
I will say you totally inspired me. And that next day I got dressed. I didn't send you a picture because you had said for me to send a picture. I didn't do that, but I even said to my girls, look at me. Do you guys all notice? And Ellie goes, and my younger one goes, were you going anywhere today? I noticed that you kind of look nice. Right. But anyway, today I got dressed. Makeup, clothes, shower, all of that. So
a shower too. That's even better.
No, I know. Yeah. So anyway, that's where we are. So let's get into meat because here's what I want to preface this. If people choose to be vegan or vegetarian due to their own beliefs or, their own kind of feelings around animals and that kind of stuff, that is 100% valid, wonderful. And we support people, right? We have people in our 4 weeks to wellness that are vegan and that are vegetarian. It's harder. And we work really hard with them to make sure they're getting all the nutrients they need, especially because the protein isn't the same. But if we're doing it because we really think it's the healthier alternative, well, then we really have to educate because we're going to debunk that myth right now. And I'm going to pull upon not just our own training and our own knowledge, but also Dr. Mark Hyman. Dr. Mark Hyman is an amazing doctor out of the Cleveland Clinic. You're in Cleveland.
Love him. Yes.
Yep. And we studied food. What the heck should I eat in our members group? There's just we totally align. Our approach totally aligns with him and his approach. And the thing is, meat, whether it's steak, whether it's chicken, whether it's seafood, there's no better source of protein than what you get in animal-based protein. And we've talked about this before, but it's a really powerful ingredient for our bodies. Now, would you consider yourself like a meat eater, or are you prefer more like the vegetables and vegetarian route?
And the way I've fluctuated over the years, and again, because of things that I thought were true, because there was a time when I wanted to stay away from the red meat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you can't have red meat. So I was more of a chicken person and more of like a fish person. But then I'm like, well, no, you have to have meat. So I've really found a good balance. I do a balance of meat. I don't feel guilty when I'm eating it. I'm not eating steak every night though, but I balance it.
Yeah, and so let's talk about this because it really is the single best source of protein. And we need protein for so many reasons. We talked about that last month too, but especially for us women, but all of us, protein, fats, and carbs are the macronutrients. And yes, when you look at a label or when you look up food, you're going to see protein in just about everything. They're tiny little amounts of protein and very often not complete protein. So I am sorry to all you vegans and vegetarians out there, like legumes might have a lot of protein for a plant, but they lack a number of critical amino acids. So getting the amount of protein in means an enormous amount of planning and effort that honestly, most of us can't manage. If like you're eating, you have to combine, and when you do, you got to be careful because your carb rate could go out of control. And so when you're thinking about what a few ounces of an animal protein will be compared to that of the mixture of vegetarian protein you have to try to piece together, it's really hard to do. But I mean, we're committed, and if you're committed, we help people do that. But it is just the bottom line, the best source. And it's especially important as we get older, where our muscle loss is the single biggest cause of rapid aging and disease. And what we teach, this is why I always talk about this. It's not just a short-term weight loss kind of thing. It's not about weight loss. It's about a long-term plan for our health, right?
Right.
So you said something about red meat, right? And like meat has been, it still is pretty demonized in a lot of ways. And I've watched the Netflix documentaries, and I also know who they're funded by. And we have to be careful. Milk. The whole reason why we have even the milk craze is because of corporate funding that has gone into a marketing ploy in our government, in our country. So we're one of the only, I mean, not one of the only, but we're very few countries have milk on a regular basis in their diet. But it isn't just because those documentaries or the things that you hear are fact. It's also around how they're funded, and they can make anything sound right. So, we kind of came across this idea that saturated fat raises cholesterol, and then we demonize meat. We want to choose lean meat, like you were saying, and we trimmed all the fat off of it. But the thing is, heart disease is a really complex condition. It's not just about the bad types of cholesterol, but there's so many other things like inflammation, blood sugar, triglycerides, all the other things. And it's just not simple enough to say that the meat, the fat in meat causes heart disease. It's all around. Actually, what we do know is that processed carbs, like refined starch, refined sugars, that actually will raise your blood levels, like we know. Also, though, your blood levels of bad cholesterol and the bad saturated fats. So it's those things that are likely causing heart disease issues more than meat. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
When you eat meat, what do you look for? Like organic, grass-fed? What do you do for that?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. I think one of the things that we think about too, if you're getting organic meat or you're getting grass-fed, again, the type of things that the animal is fed is going to make a big difference in the meat that you eat. So yes, organic is obviously always best. That's obviously what I try to look for. But if it's not there, then the grass-fed. But yeah, again, just feeding the animal the same thing that you and I would eat. You don't want your animal eating that stuff.
Grass-fed meat has higher levels of vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients. It is more expensive, right? That's why a lot of us, and you, as well as a few of our clients, have really got me into Aldi. But that's why I also love Costco, because we could get some of that higher quality meat not as expensive. But Dr. Hyman actually does talk about that in his book, Food, What the Heck Should I Eat? About how to kind of think about that in a more economical way. So, but here's the thing. This is just because we're saying protein, fats, and carbs, or just saying you should have animal protein. I mean, the bottom line is our bodies cannot produce the amount of amino acids that we need. And animal protein can give us all of those amino acids really simply. And I just believe in a lot of ways, God put those animals on this earth for us to be able to have. I mean, I want to make sure that the sourcing is cruelty free, that, you know, some of the stories that you hear about farming is scary. And I think those things are really important to be considering. But also the fact is that it's really, really powerful for us. But here's the thing, your plate should still mostly be plants, right? You can't get enough of, there are so many fruits and vegetables that are just so good for us. We're going to get so many nutrients. So it's like having the right portion of protein, the right portion of fat, and the right types and portions of carbs. And if the majority have come from vegetables, that is right. That is spot on. You're a vegetable girl. You love your vegetables.
I am a vegetable girl. And so my husband still is very resistant to our PFC and our lifestyle of living because he is such a meat and potatoes guy. And for dinner last night, we did, what did we do? We did like we did a chicken and vegetables and mushrooms and green beans and peppers and it was so good. But he was standing next to me making his plate and I was making my plate and I'm like, I looked over, I'm like, what are you doing? He took like 2 pieces of chicken and like a small little portion of vegetables. I'm just like, please, hon,
Good example, right? No, but you're right. I mean, really, it's not to say we want our plate filled with all this animal-based protein. We need that protein. And our plate should still be mostly vegetables. So we don't want to take that away. We want you to have as many as you can, really, right?
I had to help him through that. We balanced it a lot better. And he was, yes, grateful for it.
Well, you are a good influence on him, right? I hope. Well, and he'll get it one of these days. He's still young and, you know, his metabolism is firing like all these men are. So, all right. But here's the thing. Just because we adopt a plant-based diet, I don't want people to think that that means healthy. You can be a malnourished, overweight, completely unhealthy vegan or vegetarian, and you can be a completely healthy, at your optimal weight, optimal health meat eater. It's absolutely possible. It's what I live. It's what you live. It's how we live. And vice versa. Obviously, you can take it the other way as well. So it isn't about that. It isn't about plant eating is better than meat eating. It is about the nutrients that you're getting, the complete protein that is very hard to get in a pure vegan diet. Now, vegetarians can get their animal protein through eggs and dairy, cheeses and things like that. But still, there's that lean protein that comes from animals is just a really, really beneficial and nutrient rich food for us to consider. So I want people to just recognize that that is a myth that we shouldn't have meat. Okay. The right portions of the right types of foods at the right frequency, the right portions are really key. And complete protein, the best type of complete protein that you can really have is an animal-based protein. But that being said, we have lots of resources for us to, I don't eat meat all the time, right? Like we have lots of resources to be able to incorporate, but I just want people to debunk the myth. Do not think you can't eat meat to be healthy. So speaking of teaching, which is what you do, what I do, what we do in Disruptive Nutrition and try to do all the time, we try to offer our free seminars every, 4 to 6 weeks or so. And we're going to do another one. So I always have to like look at my schedule because it takes a lot of my life when we do a seminar. So I kind of looked it over. The coaches are going to go live every night. So it's like it's a big commitment, right? So we're going to do one next week. So we're opening registration this week. I always think fall is a really good time to kind of reset, and so that's what we're moving into fall. And so we're going to do a seminar next week. So go to disruptyournutrition.com/seminar. It's free. We call it a 3-day seminar. It's 3 days of teaching, but then we give lots of bonus stuff. Like I can't do it all in 3 days. There's so much more I want to teach. And you'll be going live and a bunch of our other coaches. And so go register for the seminar if you haven't done one of our seminars before. If you have done one, I always say join again. I feel like you always miss something, right? And we're always tweaking and adding and stuff like that. So disruptyournutrition.com/seminar. We won't take people in after this week. We only want people to join so that they can start from the beginning and go all the way through with us. So we're really excited about that. I love seminar week, don't you?
I do too. I do. I mean, just to hear again all these new people and their stories and their struggles with food and just the mindset around why they were signing up, and it's fantastic.
And it also doesn't make you realize how far you've come, because you don't have that same story anymore. And I want that story to change for all of these people that are in the seminar. And my heart always hurts.
I know.
But it also is a reminder of how far we've come. Sometimes you don't realize it.
That's a good way to think about it. Yes, because no, I don't think about how far I've come. I'm just always right in the moment, like wanting to do better and wanting to get, more. And so, yes, you do. You have to stop and just think about where you started and how far you've gotten.
Yeah, totally. So seminar week will be the week to next week. So today's the 28th. So whatever that day is, I don't even know what the day that week is.
The days are just flying by. They're all mixing together.
So this week, if you're watching this week, sign up for the seminar. If you're not watching this week, the seminar is probably going to be over. But all right, Nicole, thank you so much. It's always so much fun. Have a good rest of your day working and just, not showering.
Not shower. I know. No shower today. It's okay.
I think it's totally fine. All right, babe. Thanks so much. See you, everybody else. Talk to you later. Bye.